Navigating the holidays during sobriety was one of the most challenging things I had to face when I was newly sober. Hey guys, I was thinking about you today. It is Thanksgiving morning. It's very early here, but I wanted to make this video today to sort of help you navigate the holiday season during sobriety, because the holiday season will be very different for you if you are newly sober. And I wanted to help you get through this holiday season with feelings of love and joy and fulfillment rather than regret, shame, and anger. So let's just jump right into this. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jamie. I'm a registered nurse. I started this YouTube channel for my students, and then it just sort of morphed into this, I don't know, reflective self-help sobriety channel. And I changed the name to Jamie in January because I feel like I'm in a perpetual state of New Year's resolutions in my own life. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and we can go through all of these bumps and roller coaster ride of life together. If you like my hair, it's a halo actually. I'll take it off at the end, but I was trying it out. I just got it in the mail yesterday. Okay, so let's start with how to navigate the holiday season during sobriety. My sober date was December 8th. And if you are newly sober or sober yourself, you know that you don't really pick your day. It just, that time comes where you can no longer stand yourself basically, or what you've been putting yourself through. So your date is your date and it is whatever it is. So mine happened to be December 8th, right before the holiday season, and navigating that so newly and so in my sobriety was really challenging. And I have like 7 things I want to talk to you about. And the last one is important and something that I have continued to use throughout my 5 years of sobriety, almost 6. So first of all, the holidays bring with it a lot of things that we don't do in our everyday life. So parties and holiday gatherings and family time and extended family and travel. And so it's already a stressor. In fact, I do this life stress scale for my students as they're about to graduate from nursing school. And a holiday season, you automatically just get 25 points of stress. So holidays are stressful in general. And add on dealing with new sobriety can bring you a lot of challenges. So I think just really taking the time to acknowledge that you will be challenged so that you kind of have your reserves up. Be kind to yourself during this time of year. And you know, if there is a work party or a party in general or a family gathering that you're just not feeling strong enough to attend, it's okay to say no. It is okay to say no. That's, you know, the beginnings of setting up some boundaries for yourself. But if you are going to navigate and go to a party, then I want you to be prepared that people are going to offer you drinks. If you've shared with people that you are sober, you know, maybe not, but a lot of times you go with people you haven't seen in a long time. And if you are a sober person now, I'm gathering you were a drinker before. And so people associate that with you. And you might even associate that with you. So when you walk in, people are going to be like, oh, look who's here. I'll get you some wine, or I'll get you a shot, or I'll get you a beer. Know that that might happen. So that definitely happened on my first New Year's Eve, which was like less than 30 days from my sobriety date, and I wasn't prepared for it. So we went to this New Year's Eve party. It was at my husband's friend's mom's house, and I had never met the mom before, but when we walked up to the front door and she opened it, she looked at us with a big, warm, welcoming smile and said, "Shots?" And I just remember being like, you know, like internally, what do I say? What do I do? But I just calmly said, oh, no, thank you, and walked in, and the rest of the night went fine. But I do remember being quite taken aback by that offering. Some of these tips that I'm gonna give you are gonna have variations, like differences in yoga poses, as to if you want people to know that you're sober, if people know that you're sober, versus if you don't. So let's go back to our party situation. Have some phrases ready to go for when people do offer you the drink. You know what I just told you. I was like a deer in headlights, just, I did not know what to say. I didn't feel comfortable enough being like, oh, I've decided to quit drinking. I really wasn't there yet. So I wish I had had some phrases ready to go. So you can go with, I'm the designated driver. You can go with, I'm taking a course of antibiotics. For some situations, I use the, I'm taking the 30-day challenge. You could just be bold and say, I'm not drinking tonight, or I don't drink, period. But come up with a phrase that you're comfortable using. If you do tell people that you're not drinking, and these are old friends that you haven't seen in a long time, also be prepared that everyone's reactions are going to be different. Now remember, however anyone reacts isn't about you, it's about them. But sometimes people will act, shocked or like, what? What are you kidding? No, you have to have a drink. It's because they feel a little bit alone or self-conscious in their own self with you not drinking. So be confident in your decision and your choice, and be prepared for people to react differently. When I first told my friends that I wasn't drinking anymore, I got so many varieties of reactions, from super supportive, and like my one good best friend, I remember I sat her down and said, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not drinking any longer. And she just had a sigh of relief, saying, good, then I don't have to drink when we go out either. That was surprising to me. And then I had also reactions of people kind of giving me a hard time, not being my friend anymore. So it will vary. So just be ready for all of that. Whenever you show up to an event for a holiday season, there's always tons of drinks, cocktails, wine, beer, everything you could ever imagine at these holiday parties. And sometimes there's nothing you want to drink. And then you're not only feeling uncomfortable because you're at a party and all there is alcohol. For me, I'm diabetic. I've been diabetic forever. And so when I would go to parties, there would be like sodas, like Coke or Pepsi, but nothing I could actually drink. And so I learned early on to bring my own drinks. I would do it in a variety of ways. If it was an outdoor sort of casual party, my husband would bring a cooler, some beers in it for him, and then LaCroix or whatever drink that I wanted to drink was in it as well. I also brought hot chocolate or tumblers with hot tea in it, but I made sure that I had my own beverages, because it is kind of like a social thing to have a beverage in hand, and I didn't want to have just plain water. So bring your own drinks when you go to a party. Heading off to a holiday party and you're sober will drive yourself. This was amazing for me when I first quit drinking, that first holiday season. Everything was so new, because if you're like me and you're a drinker, drinking after like a glass of wine, maybe 2 glasses of wine was a normal occurrence for me. I felt like I was fine doing it, but in reality, you're still not supposed to drink and drive. So when I went to parties now and I was sober, and let's say it was Christmas Eve, I went to a work party on Christmas Eve, and when I drove home, it was the most empowering feeling to just know that I was totally safe. I knew no matter what happened, I wasn't going to get in trouble. So drive yourself, know that you're safe. It's a good reason not to drink. And that was a fun part of being sober during that first holiday season for me. Now that you're not drinking, you're not going to get all trashed. You're not going to get all tore up during the night. So dress with style. Go to these parties looking amazing, having on an amazing outfit. You know you're going to look the same when you leave. You're going to leave after having your LaCroix and not shots, looking fresh, looking hydrated, makeup still on point, hair still on point. So make sure that you are just feeling really pretty, handsome, put together, whatever, for your holiday parties. That's one of the reasons why I got this little halo that I'm wearing right now, is because I just want to look fancy when I go over to my mom's house, and I'll probably wear false eyelashes, and it's just fun knowing that I'm going to come home and they're still going to both be on. My hair is still going to look awesome. and you can wear a really pretty dress or outfit, be sparkly and just awesome, because you are. I always tell this story when I'm talking about becoming sober, because I was at a wedding. I know this is in another video of mine, but I was at a wedding and there was a girl there, and she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen, with the most beautiful dress, the most beautiful hair, the most beautiful body. And I was looking at her just kind of thinking like, oh, she's so young, you know, because I'm not young anymore. And not being envious, but just being like, wow, she's so beautiful. And by the end of the night, she was a mess. Makeup down her face, crying. She looked horrible. Her face was all blotchy. And I was just like, gosh, you know, alcohol really does do a number on you. So you don't have to worry about that. Bring your amazing self and leave with your amazing self. Now that I don't drink, I love going to parties and kind of people watching. It's not that I'm people watching in a judgmental way. Is what I'm doing is I am reinforcing for me that my choice is so positive for me. Because when you look around during a party and the cocktails start flowing, you can see people change. Personalities change, the way they look starts to change, the volume of the party changes. And alcohol is definitely an icebreaker. It helps you to kind of relax for that moment. We know that that's not how it goes after a couple of drinks and the next day. I have videos on that too. But initially, it's kind of an icebreaker. So do be prepared to feel a little awkward and a little uncomfortable when the party first gets going. That's why you have your own beverage. Hopefully you are there with someone that you can talk to who knows you. Mingle. It will get easier after a while. I am perfectly comfortable going to parties now, but I do remember struggling a bit and feeling very uncomfortable until I was there, you know, for like an hour or so. But watch the crowd change. Know that you're in control of yourself and that you can be proud of yourself. Before you go to the party, do play the scene forward. Remind yourself that you're sober. Remind yourself of the reasons why you're sober. And I always like to play the tape forward. What if I did have a drink? What would happen? I know I'm smart enough to know that I wouldn't have just one drink, and then I would be a mess, and then I would wake up in feeling shameful, and I would mess up my days of sobriety. So play that tape forward. Remind yourself of why you're doing this. You've got to go into the holiday season, the holiday parties, the family gatherings with your pep talk in place before you go. And remember, when you're at these parties, people may not be talking about the fact that you aren't drinking, but they notice. And you are a positive example for someone who may not be brave enough to talk about it now. And I've had so many people reach out to me like secretly on social media or through a text, just being like, how do you do it? And I never, let anyone know that anyone has reached out to me, because I know how scary and hard it can be to make the decision to quit drinking. But I have noticed that people do notice, and people do realize that you are being brave and you are being strong. So I feel like navigating the holidays at least is like a challenge that you have to face, and you have all of these tools and tips and tricks that I just gave you. Is what kind of can be challenging with sobriety is the mundane side of life as just day-to-day activities go on. So I want you to watch this video on the downside and the struggles of being sober. And I hope that you watch that video, and I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna take that halo off for you right now, just so you can see it clips on here. And I'm not sponsored by anything, but it's still fun to try these things. And if you want to too, I just got it on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, $50. But anyway, happy holidays.